Okay, so here is all the information you need to get ready to write the writing part of your test over the Odyssey. So um, we are going to spend some time going through each of the prompts and just overall what your writing should look like when you turn it in. So first of all, where to find this information. This is on Google Classroom. If you go to classwork, it should say the Odyssey writing test, or on your homepage, it should be in your upcoming box. And again, I have given you from today to start it. And if you want to just knock this out and get that over with and submit it, great. But it is ultimately due by noon on Friday. That way I can have a longer time to get through all 99 of your writing prompts, hopefully over the weekend. So back to the assignment. So here is the assignment, the Odyssey writing test. So if you click on that, there are 2 documents attached here. So we have what you're actually writing, and then the document to put your responses on. So we have, starting with the Odyssey prompts. So there's a lot of different ideas we've talked about in the Odyssey overall, as far as like the themes that are in there, or just things that the characters have to deal with, the ideas that tie into what the ancient Greeks and the Greek culture valued and believed. So there are 3 options. You have to choose 2 of them. Okay, so here's the breakdown up here of all of these. So Odyssey prompts, you're going to choose 2 of the following prompts. Each must be answered in MLA format, and I already set up a document for you. You're welcome. A minimum of 2 paragraphs, okay, per prompt, okay? So that means you're going to have a total of 4 paragraphs, okay? So 2 paragraphs for prompt number 1 and 2 paragraphs for prompt number 2. And I have that also laid out on your document to avoid any confusion. You're welcome. So also, you're going to be using your textbook for this. So you're going to find a minimum of 2 quotes or descriptions. Because when you can't just like theoretically talk about it and generally reference things, I need you to specifically show me in the text with what was written in the story how that proves your point. So when you are going to do that, you will put it in quotations, kind of like how we did when we did our research papers. And then just like in kind of similar, we're just going to put the line number where you found it in parentheses behind it. So you can use your textbook, obviously, because you need to find it. So all of the Odyssey stuff that's in there. And then also you can look back and find the PDF of the little book that I attached about Circe and about Hades, the other book that we read. So you can use any of those lines. They don't have to be super long. Okay, they can be super short quotes. It's not like you have to do tons and tons of quotes, just little pieces to show like, oh yeah, they did say that in the story. So that's kind of the overview of what you're putting in. Okay, 2 prompts, 2 paragraphs each, 2 quotes in each prompt. So like this, here's an example. So you must use lines from the story quoted to prove your point. If he is kind-hearted, if you're trying to defend someone as being kind-hearted, find a line that describes that, something about them being compassionate or thinking about his men or something like that. And you have to write, so you quote that out and then you write the line number, because remember how everything has the line numbers on the side. So I can find it and know that you didn't just make it up. So what are your options for writing about the Odyssey? There are 3 of them. So we'll look at number 1 first. How does Homer portray the role of women in the Odyssey? Taking into consideration such characters as Penelope, Circe, Athena, the Sirens, and Anticlea, Odyssey, that's Odysseus' mother, discuss how women influence the story and Odysseus, and if they are seen in a positive or negative ways. What does that tell us about Greek culture, and how does it compare to our understanding of women and men from a Christian standpoint? Okay, so um, you're going to kind of be thinking about um, which women were positive or negative, or what do we see. So you can choose a couple. You don't have to talk about all of them, but choose a couple of these examples of females, because again, sirens were females, um, Circe, and then and that you're not limited to these. Okay, you can use any other women female characters that you want. But again, you only have to do 2 paragraphs. So again, this is just kind of a brief overview um, of women, okay, and how they viewed women um, compared to men, and then also how it compares to our beliefs about women and men. So that's prompt number 1. The second option: the Odyssey is full of Odysseus making difficult decisions for the goal of reaching home. Choose two decisions that Odysseus made that you disagree with how he handled the situation, and explain what the better decision could have been. Use text evidence to show that the decisions were difficult, and the text evidence to show what problems would have been avoided. Okay, so again, as the leader of these men trying to get home, Odysseus has to make lots of decisions. Sometimes he makes good decisions, sometimes maybe he could have done something different, um, and would have changed the outcome in a positive way, or little bit better situation would have come out of it. So that's kind of you. So again, 2 decisions, so that's easy. So then you have 1 paragraph describing the one decision. So you say, I disagreed, or you will say, Odysseus should not have chosen to do this in this situation because blah, blah, blah. Instead, he should have done this because then this problem would have been avoided. Okay. And then you do the second one. Another decision he should have made differently was this. Um, so that, and then kind of go through those steps, right? Third option: when Odysseus returns home, he has many obstacles to overcome, especially the suitors. Was Odysseus's revenge on the suitors appropriate or excessive? Should Odysseus have listened to the reasonings of the suitors for keeping them alive? Is his response in line with how God calls Christians to deal with our enemies? Use textual evidence to support your answers. Okay, so, and again, this one kind of, I wanted you to expand on the ideas we talked about in the flip grid, if you choose to do that. But again, this time you need to actually use evidence from the text, and just give a little bit more solid reasoning for that. Don't just be like, yeah, I agree, it was fine. Why? Okay, why was it appropriate or excessive? And just give me some text evidence, and then also just comparing it to how we are called to live today compared to what the Greeks would have thought was okay. All right. So that is the third one. Those are your options. So again, you just choose 2 of them. So here's the document, what it looks like. So again, it's all set up in MLA format for you already. So you will just change the heading to be you. Look, I even put my name in for you, and I spelled it right because I know it's a challenge. So it's helping you out. So make sure you fill in the important information here, update that, make sure your last name goes up here. You do not have to change the title. So I did want to have a couple headings in here. So if you're going to do prompt number 1 and prompt number 3, then you're going to say prompt number 1, and then paragraph 1. This is just where you're going to start typing. So when you actually are going to type, just delete it and start your paragraph there. But that's just showing you to help you remember that each prompt has 2 paragraphs, right? So then if I was going to do prompt 1 and prompt 3, then I just fill that in. That way it's a little easier for me to make sure that you're on track and that you understood the prompt. Or if you're going to do 1 and 2 or 2 and 3, whichever ones you chose to do, that'll go there. And then this is already attached in the assignment. So once that's done, just turn it in, and then I know. And so, yeah, if you get it done sooner rather than later, that would also be awesome, because then I can get them all graded in a good amount of time. So I think that is it as far as the test, the writing part of the test. So if you have any questions or things are really confusing, please email me, let me know. And then if I get a lot of the same question, I'll probably send out like a follow-up email explaining things, just to help us all understand this. I know it's a little more challenging when we're not face to face for something like this, but we can do it. All right. Well, good luck. Blessings. And again, email me if you have any questions.